So if you guys don't know, if you didn't see my video yesterday, a new Battlefield game got announced. Now, this new Battlefield game is seemingly coming out in 2025, aka next year. And EA actually had an investor day where they specifically talked about Battlefield 2025. Now, I don't know whether this video is supposed to be public or not, but I am posting it on YouTube with my live reaction. So we're going to find out very quickly whether or not it is okay that this actually comes out. But essentially, I found this on Twitter from a guy named Danny on PC. And here is the actual video. We're going to watch the whole thing. And then there's one Q&A segment that I wanted to watch as well. So without further ado, let's hear what they have to say about Battlefield. And some of the stuff I already know, but it's some pretty crazy information, including a new Battle Royale / extraction shooter mode being made by a whole new developer under the new Battlefield brand. So without further ado,
it's passionate community.
Let's check it out.
So moving now to one of the more significant opportunities we have as a company.
Battlefield, there it is.
No franchise captures that feeling of all-out warfare, epic scale, massive destruction.
Also, I just want to say that this meeting, this investor day thing is super weird because it's not like the people who are at these really care about video games. They care about money. So it's a super odd look at video games.
High-intensity action like Battlefield. And we know
super weird.
Those significant successes come when the franchise leans into these core tenets.
And what are those?
We have had a few Battlefield releases that didn't meet the expectations of our passionate fans.
They actually said it.
Battlefield 2042 certainly being one of them. But our highly committed team set out to make it right for our community. They've delivered 7 seasons of content, which has resulted in the acquisition and engagement of over 25 million players.
Which is impressive. I will say, based off of how horrible that game did, that number is impressive.
An abundant amount of engagement and massive warfare playing out in this community every day. Let's take a look at some true Battlefield mayhem.
Now, I'm like 99% sure.
See, when Battlefield gets it right, it delivers fun like few other franchises.
That's not new gameplay.
The shooter audience is among the largest and most committed in entertainment. They expect excellence in execution, agency over their gameplay, a wide variety of modes, and ways to team up with their friends. The size of this opportunity is massive, and so is our ambition to deliver for these players. We've made significant shifts in our approach to development in this next iteration of Battlefield.
So just to be clear, what I didn't show in this video, as you can see in the background here, they have like Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 3, all of these older Battlefield games. They basically took a bunch of that gameplay and threw it all into one video. There was nothing new, at least that I saw, to my eye. Maybe if you guys saw these videos, you'd be able to pick something out, but personally, I saw nothing new.
We have 4 fully resourced studios instead of just one. This is interesting. We are taking more.
So we're going to get a closer look at this, but there are 4 studios working on this new Battlefield game.
Time in the dev cycle. We've been testing gameplay with our players for the past year.
That's wild.
We have industry-defining leadership. Vince Zampella is leading this massive project.
So for those of you who don't know, I talked about this yesterday. Vince Zampella worked on Call of Duty, I believe Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, then went over to Respawn, working on, I believe, Apex and Titanfall. He's a good first-person shooter creator, and if there's someone working on Battlefield who will do a good job with it, that's a pretty good name to have.
And he brought in Byron Beatty as the general manager of Battlefield. Now, before joining EA, Byron was the executive vice president and general manager of Call of Duty. And way back when, he and Vince led the teams that delivered one of the biggest entertainment launches in history. And together, they changed the face of the shooter category.
They did.
And they are set to do it again. Byron's game instincts, business acumen, and career success are rarefied in our industry. And I am thrilled that he is here today. So you can hear from him directly. Please welcome Byron.
So these are big names. Like, this doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. It is actually a big deal.
Thank you, Laura. Hi, everybody. I'm Byron. I'm really excited to be here today. It's always fun for me to talk about this iconic franchise. I've admired Battlefield for years, so having a chance to lead it and work with Vince again, that's about as cool as it gets for me. Vince's drive, how he leads his teams, his process for excellence, it shaped me early in my career. And now we get to join together again with this awesome Battlefield team and make something really special. I also want to emphasize that I'm honored today to be here, but I stand here representing hundreds of developers who are pouring their hearts into the development of the next Battlefield.
Of course. Tell me more.
As you saw from the video, nothing captures the fantasy of all-out warfare like Battlefield.
But again, really all old gameplay.
Combination of high-intensity infantry combat and vehicular warfare collide with player freedom and choice to create experiences that only Battlefield can deliver. And with the full weight of Electronic Arts behind us, we intend to do just that for players. So let's talk
With the full weight of EA behind us, we are going to gouge you with microtransactions.
about how we're developing.
Any studio does it. Call of Duty does it too.
We've
but
assembled 4.
wait. So this is a new image that you are seeing here in the background. I'm actually going to get rid of my face. Something I should probably do way more often. As you can see, this is a new image, kind of going with that theme of those red edges. You have a helicopter coming in, and that's the first kind of new image that we have seen throughout this entire thing. Now, this is where he talks about 4 studios.
World-class studios, all working together to build our Battlefield universe.
This is important.
Each one brings a level of focus and execution
So this is what Call of Duty does. They have like a different studio, working on a different section of their game. So this is like Battlefield is taking a play right out of their book.
to a critical part of the player experience. First, we've got DICE. They're the creators of Battlefield.
Of course.
And one of the most accomplished studios in the world of game development. They're leading the charge on multiplayer.
Of course.
Next, Criterion Games. This is an incredibly talented group
Big
of
studio.
individuals with decades of game development experience. They know Battlefield.
I believe Criterion has worked on Battlefield before, but before that, I believe they were like Burnout and Need for Speed. I could be wrong about that, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. And I believe that they're going to be a big part of the campaign for this game.
And now, as a fully integrated studio, they're driving content and experiences across single player and multiplayer.
Working on both.
We've also added a powerhouse team from Motive. Now,
I don't know this
Motive
one.
brings their rich history in single-player storytelling
I'm gonna
and
look this one
action
up.
to the Battlefield mix. And finally, Ripple Effect. They're working on a new Battlefield.
So Motive has worked on 2023 Dead Space, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Squadron, and it appears as though they are more so of a helper studio on various different games, including the new Battlefield game and a new Iron Man game in collaboration with Marvel Games as well. So they kind of help out with the background stuff. Now, Ripple Effect is a studio that has worked on a lot, and I believe a lot of campaigns before. I see things on their thing like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 1943, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2042. So they've worked on a lot of these, but the thing with Ripple Effect, and I don't know how much they're going to actually say about this, they are working on the new mode for Battlefield. So let me play this, and if they don't say anything about it, I will.
Experience, fueled by our unique Battlefield DNA.
Let's go back.
And finally, Ripple Effect. They're working on a new Battlefield experience, fueled by our unique Battlefield DNA that's been testing really well with players.
So
Now,
Tom Henderson, who is very, very reputable when it comes to all game leaks, has said that this is a BR/extraction shooter, and this could be big. This could be really, really big. This is that is the thing that I think Battlefield needs, something that's different and takes the blood of Battlefield and combines it with the blood of BR and extraction shooters. That could be really, really big.
Development is powered by our Battlefield Central Tech team.
Frostbite
They're
engine.
focused on enabling these developers with the technology and tools to unlock their capabilities. And again, all of this with the full force of EA. We have the largest, strongest, and most focused team in the history of Battlefield.
Which is good.
Now, with a franchise
Doesn't mean it's going to be good. It's hard to
as
trust.
important as Battlefield, we have huge ambitions. Entertaining hundreds of millions of players is a lofty goal, and we don't take that responsibility lightly. We're hungry, we're focused, and this global team of Battle Studios is operating in new ways, and we're seeing the results.
So again, those
Our
tanks
teams
in the background
live
there.
via a culture of rapid iteration to find great gameplay.
I believe
That's
it's just
Vince's
concept art.
hallmark. Prototyping, play testing, getting feedback, and repeating that loop over and over and over again. It's one of our most fundamental philosophies, and it's being incorporated through every area of Battlefield. We're obsessed with finding the fun. Now, for me, Battlefield's one of the most valuable franchises in the world. Its unique history of innovation, how unique the game experience is, how passionate the community is, it all makes the potential staggering. So let me put this in perspective.
Okay.
This is a community that plays Battlefield with over 250 million hours invested in the last 12 months in our catalog of Battlefield experience.
250 million hours in the last 12 months. Okay, let me just, okay. 250 million hours, 250 million divided by 12. So that's what, 20,000 or 20 million hours a month. So let's say divided by 60. So that's minutes. I don't know if that number is a lot. Like, maybe I'm the only one thinking this, but 250 million hours. Like, if they had 50 million players and they played for 5 hours each, that would make that in a month. I don't know. Am I the only one that doesn't seem like a lot of hours to?
Now, I would love to show you what we've been working on with Battlefield. We have a philosophy on Battlefield to put our community first. But what you can be sure of is we're building a connected universe.
Are they going to say when?
Set in the modern day for players filled with Battlefield experiences, all of them built with our unique DNA. I also want to share with you that internally, we've been playing the game nearly daily for well over a year.
Okay.
In support of this playtesting, we've also prioritized what we call our Keep Green initiative. This means we're focused on software stability so that the game is always playable, always available for playtesting. That means for us, more iteration cycles.
So basically the game is never completely broken.
In addition to this internal testing cycles, we're already testing with players. And we plan to introduce a new large-scale community-driven testing program early next year. Now that's going to give us significantly more feedback.
Okay, so essentially that means alpha early next year, alpha early 2025.
Fun factor. With all these approaches, we're focused on feedback and finding the fun like never before. So that means me, Vince, our development teams across the world, and all of EA are all in on Battlefield. This franchise and our players deserve our best. So we're having a blast making and playing the game, and I'm really proud of the work that teams around the world are doing every day to bring our vision to a reality. So thank you, and I can't wait to see you all on the battlefield.
Okay. And that pretty much summarizes it, I guess. Are you going to give me anything else?
Now, wait for players to get their hands on this game. And now, for something completely different.
Sims and Skate. Okay, so that puts an end to that. Now there was, I believe, also one other first Battlefield Q&A question.
About the opportunity for Battlefield. How are you thinking about the opportunity for Battlefield relative to prior iterations of the franchise, and how do you balance affording your development teams longer lead times to make sure quality is high? And
so this is a very investor-y question.
Yeah, great question, and it's we don't think it's ever been a better time to be looking at the potential for the Battlefield franchise right now. You heard from Byron today about the level of engagement that we have in the community. So interest and demand is really strong, remains strong. And we have an incredibly strong leadership team, the strongest leadership team that we've ever had on the Battlefield franchise.
Probably agree with
we have
that.
4 studios instead of 1 working on it. So we know that we are really investing in the right.
So basically what they are saying is if this flops, Battlefield flops. Like this is essentially the last chance for Battlefield.
And the most interesting thing really is that the market has evolved and changed. The shooter category has. And things like players having agency over their gameplay.
Are they going to say anything about Battle Royale?
Scaled battles.
Yeah.
You have vehicles. And you think about that, where the market's gone, and then what the strengths of Battlefield really are, it's like this perfect match.
It is true.
We know that if we continue to invest in the opportunity, with the strong leadership team we have, the great brand we have, the core tenets and strengths of the game, leaning into where the market is going, we know we have a significant opportunity on our hands to really realize the full potential of the Battlefield brand.
So it sounds like to me they are really, really, really leaning into that Battle Royale or that new experience, that extraction shooter, something along those lines. Now, I don't know what that is going to play and end up being. I don't know if that means that they are heavy focusing on BR, heavy focusing on extraction shooter, but we know that there is going to be campaign. We know that's awesome. That's great. I would love a great modern day campaign. I am excited for that. We know that there is going to be multiplayer. And other than that, we know that there's going to be this third mode. So they are really building it out like a Call of Duty game. And I'm guessing the majority of that focus is going to end on that final mode if it's playtesting as well as they are. Now, it's Battlefield. It's EA. Can we trust this fully? No, but again, you can't trust Call of Duty fully. So who knows what we're getting here? But it seems like early 2025 we'll at least be seeing gameplay. But for now, we've heard about it. Very strange way of hearing about it, but we've heard about it. So let me know what you think. And just like I said yesterday, Battlefield.